Hello everybody, my name is Sharif Khan and today's topic is loops. Understanding loops in C. What are loops? Loops in C allow us to execute a block of code multiple times. Uh, loops is nothing but it allows a user to execute a block of code or a user to write a code multiple times. It reduces the time of a user to write a code multiple times, but it allows a single code which makes the code multiple times. There are three types of loops: for loop, while loop, and do while loop. Key characteristics of loops: control flow, efficiency, flexibility, nestable, exit mechanism. Control flow loops helps control the flow of the program by executing code blocks multiple times. Efficiency, using loops can make code more efficient. Uh, using loops by using loops it can make the code very easy to uh, it is more efficient. It is very especially for repeated tasks and more easy for user to write the code. Flexibility. Conditions for loops can be based on various factors like counters, user input, other variables. Nestable. Loops can be nested within each other, allowing complex iterations and operations. Exit mechanism. Loops can be exited prematurely using statements like break and continue. Sorry for inconvenient. By mistake, the font size is little small. So sorry. Here is break and continue. Next, advantages and disadvantages. Advantages in loops in C. Efficiency. Loops allows you to write less code. Loops allows a user to write less code and perform repeated tasks multiple times and making a program shorter and more readable or reliable for a user. Automation. Automate repetitive tasks. It reduces manual work, or it reduces user to make the big code. It short the codes. Dynamic iterations enable you to iterate over data structures like array and linked list dynamically. Flexibility loops can be controlled using various conditions, providing flexibility in how and when code blocks are executed. Resource management efficiently manage and reuse resource like memory and variable within the loops. Easy update and maintenance. Code within loops can be easily updated and maintained, as changes to the loop logic will apply to all iteration. Disadvantages in loops in C. Complexity. Loops can add complexity to the code, making it harder to debug and understand, especially for nested loops. Uh, Especially nested loops can make some complexity for user to debug and understand what the meaning of the code and what the logic of the code. But if user understand what is loops and how it works, but you can write the code very easily. Performance issue. Poorly designed loops such as infinite loops can cause performance issue and even crash programs. Performance issue. A poorly designed loops such as infinite loops. Infinity loops can be cause performance cost. Infinity loops can be make an issue for an user. Even the program can be crashed. Resource consumptions. Excessive use of loops can lead to high CPU and memory usage, affecting overall system performance. Uh, Loops by using excessive loops means using loops too much in a program. It can affect it can affect CPU and your system, your PC and some PC and which system you are working. It can affect. It can take more storage. It can take memory, affecting overall system performance. It can lower the performance of the systems. Logical errors. Incorrect loops condition or logic can be lead to unintentable behavior such as infinite loops or skipped iterations. Difficulty in exit condition. Determining the correct condition for loops can sometimes be tricky, leading to potential errors or efficiency. To exit some to exit some conditions, it is so difficult for user. It is so difficult for user to correct exit to apply correct determine or apply the correct exit condition for loops can sometimes be tricky. It is very tricky for user. Readability. For those unfamiliar with loops construct, the code be less readable and harder to follow. If someone don't know loops, how the loops works and how it is easy to make the code very shorter and shorter. If they don't know how loops work, they for them it is so hard and difficult to read and follow the instructions. Next, for loop in C. A for loop in C is a control structure that allows repeated executions of a block of code for a specified number of iterations. It combines initialization, condition checking, and decrement in single statement. Uh, for loop in C, it allows the user to it allows the user to execute the code repeated time in a specific number of iterations, in some specific number, not that much. It combines initialization, coding checking, and decrement in a single statement. Syntax for loop, for loop, and here we are going to initialize the condition. Then here will be code to be executed. Then close the loop. Here a simple program for this. Yeah. This program is for adding two making you doing sum of two numbers. This is this program for it for loop. First header file, then main function, then data type integer. We have taken a variable for it, number one and number two. Sum is equal to zero. Why zero? Because we don't want any unwanted numbers or unwanted output. Here we have asking the user to enter the first number and second number. Printf enter the first number, then scan where there it will scan the value which user have entered, and print enter second number, it will scan. Then we are using for loop for it. For int I is equal to 0. If I is equal to 0, then I is less than num1. If an user have entered 10, 0 obviously it will be less than 10. 0 is less than 10. Then I plus plus nothing but it will be increment. If 0, then I plus plus means 0 plus 1. It will be 1. Then sum plus plus. Then second loop. Then second loop. Same. Yeah, same. What loop is working here? Sum plus plus means it will be adding to the two numbers. Print the sum. We are going to print the answer of the answer for sum. Num1, num2, and sum. Return means exiting the program. Let's run the program. Here, it asks first number, we will give 20, then second number we will give 45. Enter. The sum of 20 and 45 is 65. Thank you guys for watching this video.